Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with yet another video. This time I want to talk to you about the Bumblebee movie, Optimus Primes, and Bumblebees that are getting made. I don't know if it's just me, but doesn't seem like there's just a plethora of these things coming out. We get another one announced every week, or maybe two announced in a week, and it's just kind of hard to keep track of which one's which. Which one, well, I'm looking forward to, or which one I'm not looking forward to, what scale they're in, how much they are, and all that great stuff. Well, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to try to at least match up the scale with the name and a little bit of picture coming up. So I think the best way to go about this is to just group everything by size. And I'm going to start with the biggest, the bestest, and the baddest, which is actually a statue. And so this one here is the Prime 1 statue at 32 inches tall. And these statues are like $1,200. I don't have the price on everything, so I really am not going to be able to keep up with the price on everything because some stuff doesn't have an announced price just yet. So looking into this thing is big, this thing is massive. I don't really think it's that posable. You might be able to pose the arms, I'm not 100% sure, but it does look great. And the statues, of course, the statues look the best, most accurate to the, well, technically the tune, the animation, but most accurate to the movie, to the live action. And of course, it's going to have light up features and a lot of extra things that go with that really high price point. Next up, we have the YOLO Park, which is 2 foot tall. And of course, in a size scale of its own. I don't know if they're going to be doing a bunch of other ones that you could put next to them that would make sense at 2 foot tall. But of course, it's not the biggest. It's not the Prime 1 statue. And of course, no price. It's going to be expensive. But it does look really good. And see, one of the things with this, maybe I did see a price. It's going to be several $100s. But it has those moving gears. I showed that in my last week's news. And it really got me to thinking, like, how many of these different kind of figures are they going to make? Is this company going to put out maybe a Starscream or a Bumblebee or a Soundwave or a Shockwave, or what are they going to be putting out? So next we're getting into a 3A Prime. Now I'm kind of curious about this one too because it's going to be about 15 inches tall, and now it's called like 3.0, so it's 3A and 3.0, and so putting them side by side, 3A and 3.0, and they do look exactly the same. So yeah, it is the same company. I don't know what's going on with the name change and all that, but this is a non-transformable figure, and this non-transformable figure looks really good, but well, of course it doesn't transform, carries a high price tag, but has really high quality and should be made up of, well, both die-cast and plastic, with 53 points of articulation, LED illuminated eyes, and yeah, it's gonna be a pretty massive, awesome figure. Of course, next to MP44, you can see how tall he is. So these are all of the masterpiece options. So what would you consider a masterpiece option? All around 12-inch scale, 11 to 12 inches would be the masterpiece Prime in this scale. I'm guessing much bigger Prime than what we're used to seeing in the masterpiece scale. So on the left, you have a newcomer to this space, and this newcomer is called Toy Lab. And in the middle, you have an old school Toy World, and on the right, well, you have a plethora of different KO oversized ones, but this is the Oimek one, which, yeah, I think they're doing a Black Mom and a Wee Zhang and all of that stuff too, based off of the Studio Series mold. So looking at these three, these would be the main masterpiece options for about the same size scale. So looking at them, which one looks the best? A lot of people say that they think the Toy World one looks the best, but of course it's easy for that one to look the best because it's the only color photo, fully color painted photo by the third party. It's not based off of a Studio Series Hasbro mainline release. But hey, you know, this other one over here, this Toy Lab, might end up being the best in the end. So going into the Chug scale and Chug size, which by the way, I am actually surprised third party is even messing with Chug, but I think that they think, or they're counting on, the Bumblebee movie franchise being a big hit, a big thing, a big deal. So looking at this, we have this Lemon Tree figure, which on the left is Lemon Tree. In the middle, we have Trumpeteer, or yeah, Trumpeteer. And then on the right, we have the actual Studio Series figures. So looking at all of them, Studio Series did pretty good considering it's a mainline figure and you're just going to get it, what, 20, 30 bucks at Walmart, Target, any of those places that sell those things. And the other ones are probably going to cost a whole lot more. And looking at these, the Lemon Tree one seems a little bit odd to me. I think the chest is sticking out too far. I'm wondering if it's mistransformed, and it almost is starting to make me question how Bumblebee movie inspired it really is, but it does, I mean, it does kind of match up a lot of the elements to the other ones, so I really do feel like it's still in that ballpark. And so the Trumpeteer, well, we'll see what happens with this. All of these are around 6 to 7 inches tall, so they would definitely fit in your chug line. So before we get on to the craziest part of all this, which is, of course, the Bumblebees, this is a statue for Prime 1, and it is the Soundwave, and I think it looks pretty good. And, the Soundwave looks so G1-esque. Just this design, it looks G1-esque with an added flair of modern. I could get with this. I could dig this. If the next movie that comes out has more of this, I'm perfectly fine with it. So getting into the whole Bumblebee thing, so these figures are the ones that are based on the Bumblebee that transforms into a Volkswagen Bug, but then transforms not into an actual G1 version of Bumblebee, but yet the movie Bumblebee movie. I'm trying to clarify this because there are now 3.7 million Bumblebees that are made out there. So let's get right into this. So starting at the top of the Bumblebee food chain here, we're going to get into the Prime 1 Studio statue, and it's going to be almost $1,300. It's going to be 26 inches tall. It's going to have light up LEDs, features such as the lights, looks like the headlights. Definitely a premium item, a premium statue, a premium figure, and yeah, that's at the top of the range. So next up we have 3A. Now 3A is of course the non-transformable version, and this is what got me confused because you've got a Bumblebee that's as big, if not bigger, than their Optimus Prime that they're making, and then they have a smaller one that's like 8.26 inches, and these non-transforming figures in two different scales made me think that they would have an Optimus Prime in two different scales. But then I guess I just underestimated the value and the power of the Bumblebee. So yeah, Bumblebee is the popular character. Of course, the entire movie is based on him, so I guess it really does make sense. But who's he going to be standing next to? Is he just going to be a standalone piece for the larger one? Alright, so these are the masterpiece options. They range in size from about 6.3 to 7.87, so they're all a little bit different sizes. So Zeta's is on the left, and it's 7 inches. In the middle, we have Transform Element 1, which I don't have a size for that one. And then we have the movie Masterpiece one on the right, and as you can see, and that one's about, 6.3, so it's the smallest of all of them, the Takara one. And looking at all of them, they actually all look pretty good. Oddly enough, well, of course, the Takara one, maybe it's not painted. Well, I don't know. I haven't handled that one or dealt with that one at all. But the other two seem to have a better paint job and just present a whole lot better. And it's my understanding that shouldn't Toy World be putting a movie Bumblebee out also? I know they're doing their Freedom Leader Optimus Prime, but where's their Bumblebee? And Black Mama's putting out a couple of KO oversizes of their own. And so these look pretty decent. This apparently based off of either the Masterpiece or the Studio Series line. And so yeah, they look pretty good. Get a cheaper option of it. It's there for you. So moving into the Chug space, we actually have the Trumpeteer on the right and the Studio Series on the left. And so there we have those figures. Now, the Studio Series, is it really truly the Bumblebee movie representation? And well, yes, I think it is. And I think it looks, a little bit cheap next to any of the third-party options, and just with the thin legs, it just kind of looks a bit odd. But there's more options out there than just these. They also released a Retro Pop Highway version of the Studio Series Bumblebee in a gold, so more of a gold bug, along with 2 cassette tapes to transform into dinosaurs. So it's actually a pretty cool little set, and yeah, I've got it. I need to open it up and review it and go through that. But it's based off of the same mold as the Studio Series one, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Hasbro also came out with a Then and Now multi-pack. So this one would have both the modern, more Bumblebee movie and then the the Camaro. So you got the Bug, you got the Camaro, so the Volkswagen, you got the Chevy. So looking at this, that's a pretty cool little set if you're in on, well, old school movie line also. And lastly, I don't know much about this, but there's a Japanese only release, the Bumblebee movie Power Charge Bumblebee, and it looks to be a different mold than the studio series or anything we've seen in the States. I don't know how small this is, how big this is, what it's based off, how many steps, but I thought it was pretty interesting, and so I thought I'd include it. So I hope I cleared things up for you. I was really trying to clear things up for myself and answered a handful of questions, but I actually have a couple more. So if you see any of these movie Optimus Primes or Bumblebees that weren't on my list, well, please let me know, because I'm trying to keep all these straight and kind of keep straight what's masterpiece scale, what's chug scale, and then what's its own scale. Like, subscribe. Hanger out.